There's a certain ethos when using a pen and paper to write something down in 2025. In the world of Apple Pencils and digital screens, the question remains of whether a pen will be relevant in the 21st century. But ironically, the pen, which is mightier than the sword, is very much so relevant in a world where digital emails and incessant texts and tweets are shared with the world. The pen is intimate. It's physical, and it awakens a sense of touch in a way that the keyboard never will. It's meant for you, and often you alone, or perhaps for another to read. The intimacy of it automatically brings to life emotions that may not be as powerful or addictive as TikTok, but feel something more like serotonin. Regardless, as a part of my EDC series, I've been enjoying trying out pens, which has at the same time rekindled my love of physically writing, and I hope the experiences I share with you are insightful. With the long introduction out of the way, I'll be sharing with you the Inventery Bolt Action Pen V2 in titanium, medium, in the special edition silencer version, which I've been using nearly daily for the last month. The Inventery takes the ethos I had mentioned earlier and imbues a level of design that really takes the concept of the pen being mightier than the sword to the next level. Initially, I was taken aback when holding it in my hand, and in a sense quickly thought of returning it, but after using it, I quickly began to develop my own sense of what the pen represents to me. A silencer, which is a tool used for covert execution, initially felt a bit too aggressive. After all, when writing down a thought, it's not with the intent to inflict damage, but what was initially interpreted as too aggressive turned into one of a deep meaning of moving silently but intentionally and powerfully. Kind of like a ninja. It was a powerful interpretation of an absolutely beautiful and arguably really expensive pen. Each time I pick up the pen, it prepares my mind to be intentional, that my thoughts and words aren't simply meaningless but carry weight, even if it's just for myself. With that said, there are pros and cons to the pen, which I'll share with you and hopefully assist you in making a decision whether or not this pen will enable your thoughts and tasks as it did mine. First is the specs, which need to be addressed. The pen itself is an incredibly 30 grams light, or just about 29, which as soon as you pick up makes you feel that you are carrying a purpose-built pen. Second is the length, which in the medium is exactly 13 centimeters or 5.13 inches, which fits in the hand without being too short or too long. Thirdly, it fits my preferred refill cartridges, the G2 Schmidt EasyFlow 9000, which I use in all my pens and is actually a prerequisite for me when thinking of purchasing a lifetime pen. Now, the pros are self-evident. Outside of the user experience is, of course, its fit and finish. Build quality is superb, except for one aspect which I'll mention shortly after. But the smoothness of the barrel, the even polish throughout, and the wonderfully drilled holes make this pen a joy to hold and use. The threads for unscrewing the pen to access the inner mechanism is heavy and solid, which imbues confidence that it won't unthread itself. The bolt action itself is also incredibly smooth, making this a wonderful fidget tool. The spring actuation is perfectly dialed in, making the bolt action a smooth and easy process. And for quick sounds, apparently the action itself has been chamfered and fitted with a new O-ring for this version 2. Lastly is the wonderful emblem up top, which has plenty of detail to get lost in. And of course, the Easter egg of the hidden logo and the serial number, which you can see under the pocket carry clip here. Now, nothing's perfect, but this pen was really close to it. There are two unfortunate experiences, one which is definitely a con, and the second is something that I was able to get over after using it a few times. First is the thread that holds the bolt grip in place. It may be hard to show here, but it's really weak, and the threads are not up to tolerance as it was for the pen itself. Every few actions I feel that it starts to slip and I have to retighten it. It's a very weird contrast to the rest of the pen where I feel like I have to apply some Loctite to the thread for this bolt action here. Secondly is actually the holes itself. Initially I was very concerned that the holes would dig in and catch my skin as they don't seem to be beveled with round edges. But after using it, these concerns went away as the lightweight nature of the pen didn't require such a firm grip, and despite the lack of beveled or curved holes, it never proved to be uncomfortable. In conclusion, the pen could have been perfect. The design, the emotions that it elicits, and the action itself make it an absolute joy to use. However, the super loose threads for the bolt itself make it truly frustrating, and it reminds me every time I have to retighten it that it is a flaw. Now, it could be just my model, and I'd love to hear for others who have other makes, maybe different materials, if they also have that issue with this bolt clip. Let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.